Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I pray everybody had a wonderful weekend, spent time in church. I pray that, we were convicted by the word and our hearts were changed. It is currently Monday morning. It is currently 40 degrees, going to be a high of around 55 with possible chance of rain throughout the overnight. So I wanted to kind of take a look at some Psalms this week. And periodically we bounce back and forth into the Psalms. Um, and so one of the things I've been doing is at work. So I work in a public school. And I snuck in my military Bible. It's, like this big, right? Something that the soldier can keep in their pocket with them. And it's, so I snuck it in. And when I start the day and before the other person gets in my room, I'll try and read a quick psalm just to, I kind of push back the enemy. Well, I started that, I guess, 2 weeks ago maybe. And the first one I opened was Psalm 82. So let's take a look at Psalm 82. And, I just said a quick prayer. Lord, give me a psalm. I need a short one, right? I need a short one. And most of my studies in the Psalms have been towards the beginning, so that's kind of how I got towards the middle end of the book of the Psalms. And I kind of opened it up, but boom, and I saw this one. It was 8 verses, so I said, all right, let me jump in here. Okay, so this is a psalm of Asaph, and so Asaph, it means gatherer or collector. That's what the definition of the name Asaph means. And he was a chief Levite musician under David. There was two other Asaphs, and one was like a secretary of Hezekiah, and the other one was like a herdsman or something like that for I forget. It was the Philistine king. He was a Philistine. All right, so let's look at this psalm. It says, verse 1, a psalm of Asaph, verse 1. God has taken his place in the divine council in the midst of the gods who hold judgment. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Selah. So let's just pause for a second. Then he says, give justice to the weak and the fatherless. Maintain the right of the afflicted and the destitute. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked. They have neither knowledge nor understanding. They walk about in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are shaken. I said, you are God's sons of the Most High, all of you. Nevertheless, like men you shall die and fall. Like any prince, arise, and, O God, judge the earth, for you shall inherit the nations. Right? Those little 8 verses pack a little bit of a punch there, don't they? So, first of all, God has taken his place. Verse 1, God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of gods, he holds judgment. Okay, so God, capital G, God, that's Yahweh. Okay, that is God the Most High. Now, at the end of the sentence there, it says God's in the midst of the gods, he holds judgment. Now, that's lowercase gods, G, lowercase g, right? And now, what is he saying by that? Because you got to see that these gods, these lowercase g gods, they're gonna die like men, right? So they can't be angels. He's not sitting in the courts of the angels here. He's sitting in the courts of men who are puffed up, boasted up in their position, right? Men that are puffed up and boasted up in their position, thinking that they're gods. Okay, so sometimes God does put us in positions of authority, positions of power, and as Christians, we do need to be careful that our flesh does not get in the way. We do need to be careful that we don't get puffed up, that we don't become arrogant, that we don't use that position to either lift ourselves up or to be used to lift up somebody else, right? Or to be used to lift up somebody else. And Jehoshaphat, he warns about that. 2 Chronicles 19:6. He just after being rebuked for his alliance with Ahab, right? He sets up reform in Judah, and he places judges, and he warns them about partiality and judging correctly, judging justly, right? So, this has to do with the political, but also the social system, right? That's there, and we have judges, but also in so even I work in the school system, right? And there's behavior team, right? They judge the behavior of students and decide what the outcome or the disciplinary action will be. There's the principal. I'm a special educator, right? So I have influence over the direction of students. Now, these are the most vulnerable students, right? Where it's talking about verse 3, give justice to the weak, maintain the right of the afflicted, right? That's the afflicted, those kids that need special education. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked, right? So, like I said, even I have influence over the direction of one of the most vulnerable population, essentially, right? Of their education. So, we need to be careful that we don't, become boastful or prideful or show partiality, right? It's easy to do. It's easy to do when you're in that judgment seat. And that's one thing that, Christians, we do need to guard our hearts against. We do. Because the enemy will jump in there anytime. And the thing that we need to remember, as it says here, first of all, God is in the place of that. He has taken his place in the divine council. He's there. Right? He's there. And I have to remember that. So if there's somebody across from me and they're arguing for a certain thing, a Christian or not, right? One, God is there, right? So his sovereignty and providence is over all of it. Now, that doesn't mean I just go with whatever they say. I still need to act justly, and I still need to act I still need to act in fear of the Lord, okay? I still need to act in fear of the Lord. And so it says he's in the midst of the council, where the gods, right, lowercase g, he holds judgment, okay? How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Right, that happens. These people, that's part, that partiality to the wicked is what, throughout the history of Israel, throughout the history of the world, right, of mankind, has crept in everywhere. Partiality. That's where the politics of everything comes from. It's from being partial to one thing or another, So then let's look down. I just want to close with this prayer, right? Arise, O God, judge the earth, for you shall inherit all nations. All right. So God's gonna. So at a certain point, we just need to call on God to come do this. Do your thing, God. We know the outcome, right? Lord, step up. Knock these gods down. Judge the earth, right? You shall inherit all the nations. So no matter, where the judges come from, saved, unsaved, Jew, Gentile, doesn't matter. It doesn't, because God is over all of it. He's over all of it, So when he does that, listen, he says, verse 6, I said, you are gods, lowercase g, son of the Most High, all of you. Okay, so everybody together is the son of the Most High, okay? Because we're all born of God, right? We're all God created mankind, okay? Nevertheless, like men, you shall die and fall like any prince. So prince is like a king or a ruler placed by an under ruler placed by the king, okay? The prince, like any prince, right? Like men, you shall die. So listen, when God comes, right? When God comes, everybody's going to get judged. Boom. There it is. We're all going to be judged, and we're all going to be judged based on our works. We're going to be judged if we know the Lord. Now, we're judged differently if we know the Lord, if we have the Holy Spirit interceding for us with God the Father, and you know, kind of stamping his approval of our forgiveness of sins. Like, that's where we want to be. But guess what? We're all going to die, and we're all going to be judged by God the Most High. And I guess the question is, what side of that do you want to be on?